a lot of people ba e leng gore ke di-public figure, Mr. BP, ba apara di-mask. Ko morago go a baba. Ko morago ga ba kgone go hema. Ko morago go a go tsididi or go a fisa. I get ditlhako di fisa barwadi. Go a fisa. Ko morago mara ga a tsena mo staging, a tsena mo pele mole. All smiles.
Ke somebody else.
Ke somebody else wa apere mask o montsha. Mara ga a tsena ko ntlong, the real masks wa bonagala. And what we want to tell people today, ke gore we know gore people go through a lot. If o lebella o ka bala ke lebetse gore ke mo Samuel efeng. Go na le Samuel mo ileng gore David was running away from Saul. Saul a batla go mo bolaya. A mmolela fela gore wena o nagana go romang gore o kgona go utlwa from Modimo. If o ka bala dipisalome tse tsotlhe, you will realize gore David ne go na le nako e leng gore David was going through sadness. Seasons. Or David was going through depressive moments. But even in those depressive moments, David na itshwareletse ka lentswe la Modimo a re ke a mo tseba Jesu. Yena o dira tse di botse fela. He has been there. Aba bua a re le ge ke tsamaya mo gorogorong wa moruti wa leso. Ga nkitla ke boifa bosula bope. Gono o na le nna. Tsamaya ga go le sikokotlelo sa gago. Kgomotso. If obala Psalm 23, you will realize gore ka nnete David was going through the most. He was going through the depressive state. And he wrote that psalm, a re Jehovah ke modisa wa ka. Nka se hloke sepe because wena ntate Modimo o modisa wa ka. And it simply means gare, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, it simply means for David was going through the most, just like some of us are going through the most at this point in time. Mari urile, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Ki mang o tlhokang comfort o eleng gore is not going through sadness. The person o tlhokang comfort o eleng gore is going through sadness, o eleng gore is going through difficult times, o eleng gore is going through depression. And David Nasa hide. As a leader, he did not even hide it. He wrote about it. They are not new under the sun.
Kgomotso ga o bela so gona le batho ba le re ba apere di mask. And the very same mask dia ba khama. The very same mask ke tsone di rang gore ba palle ke go hema. The very same mask ke tsone le go di rang gore ba gcine ba hlokofetse before time. But then ga o kana wa emelela wa face ana le the storm. Ga o kana wa emelela o ka se bane le that depression e re tlo bolelang ka yona. Ga o ka emelela ta fita o ile a tsamaya bjanong ka motho mang kapa mang. Go na le tse ding tse ile gore ke tse dimpi ena o di lateletse. But then ka morago ga nako azanga apara mask. Will acknowledge.
Acknowledgement. It's acknowledging that you are going through the most. And that is why I'm saying David Haga ba ashamed. I'm a leader. Are people are looking at me. What are they going to say if I could pen down I am going through the most. Yes, I am going through the most. Mara I know gore ke mang antsamaisan. Ki Jesu mmatsela wa acknowledge itse gore I am going through the most. Abare mare morena ke modisa wa ka. Go ntse go le yalo ga nkitla ke tlhoka sepe le gele gore I'm going through the most and I'm acknowledging gore I'm going through the most. Ga nkitla ke tlhoka sepe. I shall lack nothing because ntate Modimo is my shepherd. Ga fetsa abare you restore my soul. You restore my soul. And you restore my soul because when you are in a depressive state, Mr. BP, last week mental health issues. So mental health taba ele ya gore o na le kgatelelo ya menagano. O na le kgatelelo ya menagano, o na le kgatelelo ya maikutlo. And how we translate the Lagos when we say it affects the way that you think, it affects the way that you walk. And because o gatelegetse mo tlhaloganyong, o gatelegele mo pelong, you are fighting with yourself. Your brain is fighting with you. You end up feeling like the world world would be a better place without me. Because nothing makes sense to you. You are so marinated, more depressioning, or more sadness to an extent you don't see anything else. And if you remember last week, when you are in a depressive episode, it feels like
Yes.
it feels like
It's true. It's true.
it feels like and that is why people end up saying the world would be a better place
Without.
or
Yes.
gore se omelle sa omella mo sekontereng
Or wa se
letsatsi,
phusetsa
or
ka
wa se-
mmu.
or wa se phusetsa ka mmu because ke ditšhila. That is how depression will make you feel. It will make you feel like you are nothing. It strips you of dignity.
Yay.
It strips
Hey.
you of the good soul that is
In
in
you.
you.
Yes.
That is why that is why David Ari, you restore my soul. Because when you are in a depressive mode, you are soulless. That is why it's even easier for you to harm yourself. Because how next? That is why it's easier for you to try and commit suicide. Because nothing is, you're not rational. You are not yourself. You are dysfunctional. Because at that point in time, your soul is tainted by dilo tse dimpe. And that is why David restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters.
Oh, you know, Motso, you're talking something. But le ge letsatsi le tlhabile ga o le under the depression, le ge letsatsi le tlhabile wena o bona darkness. Ga bona batho ba tshega o nagana gore ba lla. Ga bona batho ba tsamaya o nagana gore mohlomong a bawa. You know, depression it change the normality into abnormality.
Mr. VP, say that again.
Wa tseba ntho engwe nkutlwisang botlhoko gore o fila o kare a o kgone le go busa moya, and then in the reality ga o kgone go busa moya because everything is congested. Ntho engwe le engwe mo gona e gatelegile.
Ntho engwe le engwe e gatelegile. Mr. BP, to an extent ya gore your stress tolerance ka Setswana re bitsa kgotlhelelo. A ke re na le tolerance. So your stress tolerance, endurance ya gago, bokgoni ka Setswana ga di sa tlhole di le teng. That is why o give up easily. Gore o gatelesegile like se khotlola sele so se khwileng wa se latlhela ka mong. Ha o bonagale. Ga gona anything e leng gore makes sense. And that is why it feels like you are in a black box. A four corner is square. Ha khone le go nama maoto, ha khone le go stretcha matsogo, ha khone gore o lie down, ha khone gore o ruetsa anything.
Hey.
Depression feels like your body has been poisoned by something. Not just your body, your soul, your mind, your essence. It strips away your essence. Bumba gago. It strips it away to an extent ya gore ha khone next semester VP. Ga go le go tlhapa sometimes batho ba na le go ya for 5 days motho a teng a re ka nte ke la bokae today.
A gopole anything.
Ha soje. Because the body is not functioning, it's poisoned by minagano, by the battlefield. I call it the battlefield of the mind. How much you fight with your mind to an extent ya gore o lebala basic things like go robala, o lebala basic things like goja, o lebala basic things like kids. Go na le batho ba ileng gore ba lebala le bana go dikolong, ba lebala le gore bana le bana, ba lebala le gore bana le mosebetsi, ba lebala everything, and it's not them. It is because they are not themselves at that point in time. Ba gatelesegile ke se ba gateletseng at that point in time, Mr. BP. And until a person acknowledges and says, I am going through the most, and asimola abua, because today people are not doing much about the depression. Maybe this time around it's better, because depression or any mental health issue is still a taboo in South Africa. It's still stigmatized. It's still stigmatized. But why are you going to see a psychologist to spend a chelete you can just talk to a friend? Why don't you just talk to your mama or talk to a friend? why are you wasting so much money ka dipilisi and stuff? Motho ha tlhaloganye gore the toxins phela o poisoned. You need something go monyolla. And you can only monyolla when you start acknowledging gore I'm going through this. You start seeing a psychologist and you start speaking. Gore ba khona ba tsebe gore what is happening? Deep down ba simolle ba bule onion e ba iphile go fitlhela ba fitlha o leng gore gona le boladu ko teng. But amose then you start getting a bit of relief. And on top of that ba go fe dilo tse kana re di bitsang dipilisi tso di nwang tse ga ona le di infection kana re di bitsang what when I get the antibiotics. So for go fa di antidepressants for the antidepressants gore di deal le whatever that is happening, rewiring in your brain, rewiring in your thoughts, rewiring everywhere else. But you are able to take the antibiotics, but they don't want to take the antidepressants because antidepressants, they're stigmatized. And people are not doing these things because of stigma. And people, some of them, banally family members, but because a person has not acknowledged,
yes,
I am going through the most and I need help. Even if ukazama, Mr. BP, they will not.
Let them acknowledge
They need to acknowledge first. In the bonnebaring, Kia through the most, like David Arle, I'm going through the most. Marin Tatemudimu is my shepherd. Acknowledge the first, or I'm going through the most.
You know, Motso o bolela ka yona ne. If o ka lebella rona re nang ko makeisheneng ga o ka bona bontate ba ileng gore ga tswa mosebetsing o ya ntlung ya bojwala o ya mo ileng gore it's a pub o ya mo ileng gore o lo hlakana le banna ba bang ba kopane go antsa sena le tšhelete ya go reka beer o bona go le betere gore a be a kolotise beala gore a fitlhe gae a tsene a robale batho ba ileng gore ba rwele motso ba rwele and then motho o nna in denial o gana gore acknowledge but then ge re kana ra tlogela more especially rena batho ba bontate ge re kana ra tlogela gore re metse botlhoko because the very same botlhoko bo re bo metsang you imagine o metsa botlhoko gangwe le gape bo kena ka mogare ga gago bonna bo dina bo go khosetsa unnecessary depression bo dina bontsha bo dignity ba gago ba bonna because now o tlo dina o tinela ka nnotagi o tlo dina o ira dilo tse leng gore normally motho e leng gore o ile acknowledge gore ke na le problem I batla solution and about a solution motso I am not really a fan ya gore tsa mo bolela batho I'm not a fan ya gore bolela ditšhomi tsa gago I'm not a fan ya gore get someone o bolele le ena motso o boletse ka batho ba maleba ba ileng gore you need to go and consult batho ba ileng gore they will sit down ba tlosa e ganyane go fitlhelela ba kreya boladu ba kreya ile gore problem ya matlapi a otlhe a startile mo because ga o bolela motho ke motho e leng gore le yena o roletse lentsa hae o bolela motho e leng gore o na le yena kogo e se gore ga o tšhaisa o šianele gae ko mosading wa gago ko baneng ba gago ko familying ya gago o bona go le botoka gore o ye mo e leng gore o nnagana gore o tlo ntsha depression you cannot motso o ntshe depression ka injection ya HIV you cannot do that you cannot do that
ka dipilisi tsa blood pressure
or
tsa sukiri
you can't do that
no you can't and that is why ke bua ka di antidepressants because they are made to target certain things in your body to help you out. Yes, they are definitely going to make you feel numb. They're going to make you feel like you're losing control.
But for now,
up until body how it is, then over sharp. Mr. BP, ubileka something says very key. So remember how Nike work at this thing because I've been there. I've done that.
Yes.
I've had the t-shirt. I battled with depression for the longest time since I was a teen. I've said I've tried to kill myself more than 5 times.
Number of times.
University, kinzikili depressed. University, depressed. Kinzikili depressed. I was in denial that kinali matata Mr. BP. And I thought gore ha ke simolla ke sebetsa ke na le tšhelete. Now that I have a car, now that I have a place of my own, now that I can afford my life, I don't have to ask anybody for anything. Gora gore problem ya ka will be solved. Gora gore all this hopelessness that I've been feeling, gora gore this just because how lwala o tshwere ke depression, Mr. BP, you become hopeless. You become worthless. You feel worthless. You feel like nothing makes sense, Mr. BP, to you. So now, because you're feeling all of these things, you've got a void. Something and most of us, because re na le mosima o ileng gore ga o tlale ke void eno tla yutlwa mo pelong o feel gore go na le something se shortang se se botlhoko mo pelong o lle ha fetsa go lla the void is still not filled. O tsama o ile no bojwala ha o khutla the void is still not filled out. When you become sober o thoma ten for no tlogetse teng yesterday if o tsuba di drugs ga di tswa mo systeming o thoma teng for no le teng how to for the retail therapy so I used retail therapy and materialistic things to say they will help me heal. They will help me heal. They are my solution. So I thoma ke bereka, I bought a car. I started worrying the parts and things about the back. They learn kaliki di badla. Kinahana these things they will fill me.
This void.
It is temporary joy. As soon as suits and I'm almost samelongo batho so batong. Reality hits again to say una le bothata bo bo so. Una le bothata bo bo so. Kamoso wa somewhere else or like something else is selling gore. It's worthless. It means nothing because the pain we feeling none of these material things will sort you out. Mr. BP, I kid you not, I was in denial of the fact that I had issues. To an extent that I remember I did share my story to say the first time that I went to see a psychologist, I was acting in a certain position, acting in that certain position. We are interviewing people for the very same position that I'm acting on. And the interview, something, an escalation I'm dealing with because I'm acting in that position. Next thing, for fewer 15 minutes, I sort out this issue, interview, interviewing. My manager says, I'm irritated because I'm always late. That word, I'm irritated, triggered something in me.
Yes.
Interviewing and I couldn't speak because I was paralyzed by the fact that
you are irritated.
I'm irritated. It was that thing reminder where I come from, where people couldn't my presence never tina. So let me she's simply saying my presence I'm irritated myself. Kadula khate ona le question ka no I don't have questions. Ka tsama ka ilo dula go desking Mr. BP. Ha ke ntse ke dutse go desking.
Yeah,
boa. Now ya escalated.
It rings back.
And guess what I did? I blacked out. In that blacking out, I'm blacking out walking to my manager's office. I get to my manager's office, ke tswala monyako. Ke am confront now. Gore, what did you say to me? And it's 2 hours later. What did you say to me? O maketsilene gore ke bua ka eng? Ke am motsa ke mara kere. O ile ke go irritate. Do I mean less to you to that extent? Ya gore, who do you think you are? You can talk to me like that in front of people. Mr. BP, I remember killa ke kwetse monyako so mme o la re wa tswa ke gana tswa mo officing ke batlo mmola. Ke feel ke batlo mmola because how dare you talk to me like that? And she's not at fault. I've got my own issues. I never felt valued. I never felt loved. Now this person, Leana, she's showing me she doesn't love me. And that's what I'm thinking. Ke shapa tlhogo le batiso go bontsha gore ke a tsena. Ke shapa le batiso ka tlhogo. Ke shapa le batika tlhogo. Ba founele wellness. Wellness e batle ke tle go tseiwa mo bantse a kope gore a dule le nna to calm me down. Antse ang kise ko restauranteng re ye ko restaurant kana o tlogela mosebetsi o isa nna go restauranteng gore ke feel gore I'm worthy, I'm valued because that's what I needed in that moment and I felt okay. Ka sana ke wela mosebetsing wellness ba re we've booked you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you need to see a psychologist. Karna. Kgomotso le mo khotula mpona na re la rena ke lo bona na le psychologist. Now I'm in denial.
Yes.
Ya gore I have issues. But I know I have issues because I cut myself. I know I have issues because I burn myself on a stove for the iron. Simply because of ke batla gore ke nne le that temporary relief. Wa tlhaloganya. The next thing shapo ba bookile session le psychologist. I would go to that psychologist and I would sit and I'll be like, the company's paying for you. I don't have to say anything. It's an hour. Wake me up. 10 minutes and then get on. And they had paid 6 sessions and it's expensive. 6 sessions. In those 6 sessions, I wasn't talking to the psychologist because I was in denial. I am going through the most. Then, bafana report. Report is ngwano ga tsena ga bui next. Do you think if another incident like that happens, but another chance?
No.
If I can't pay another chance because they gave me an opportunity to go, but
you were still in denial.
I was still in denial. It went on and on and on like that until I started saying, I'm done with cutting. Now I'm gonna start trying to commit suicide because nothing is going to help me anyway. It took those many suicides for me to finally say, let me just start going to see a doctor. And then I started to the doctor, Mr. BP. But it wasn't helping because then I would weep. I would weep like a little child.
Yeah.
Because then 2009 I was at a club with a friend. Some guy just came to me and so rough. It reminded me of Mutoma fellow who tried to rape me. Rough like that. And then I lost it there. I started bitterly. The next thing, lights off. How to
again?
Your doctors problem mental issues. So she needs to be checked into a mental institution. And I got checked into a mental institution. And when they told me that I'm there because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I was fighting my friends and fighting my doctor and saying, how could you guys collude and make a decision to say my friend is like, my doctor is saying, and I can't help you as a GP. You need psychological help. It's not caused by anything else. It's because asthma. It's nothing else. It's because of this, the migraine. You understand? The next thing, it just so happened the first week. The first week when I was hospital, I was not speaking, Mr. BP. Doctor. Occupational therapy. Go fitlhella e feleletsa e nna nna kere I am here go tile ke tlo go nna mo for 6 to 8 weeks. So am I going to do the very same thing every day, every week in, week out? And they're taking this thing from my medical aid. So let me listen to these people and see gore engeng.
Can't it help?
Can't it help now? Mr. BP Khanyan, I started speaking. And that's when I was given the diagnosis to say, you have bipolar type 2. And when I got the diagnosis, then I said to myself, okay, I've got a diagnosis. Let me start doing research. And I asked people to bring my laptop, my personal laptop. And they were bringing it. It's me to research. What is bipolar? How do you live with bipolar? Is it curable or is it a death penalty? Okay, you see it's a death penalty and you're like, no. For me, it will not be not me. And now I know what my problem is. And then it means I attend the psychotherapy. Because only psychotherapy can be able to help me. What is inside of me. Every single time I have a psychologist and a psychiatrist, I must speak. Because it teaches you okay, I can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm overwhelmed. dula mo fatshe bana, dula mo fatshe journal. Yaka Moses in a journal.
Yes.
Not Moses, David. A journal dilo tsa gago. Dula mo fatshe and journal what you are going through at that point in time. Even if you can't tell a person, write a letter. This is what I'm feeling. Then I started becoming better, Mr. BP. I started learning how to draw. I started learning how to express myself. Because now my essence is coming back. I am peeling. And before I knew it, 7 weeks was over. And they are telling me I need to go home. And then I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to be integrated into society? Because society doesn't take people like myself seriously. And there's no such thing. Because that's what people say. And that's why people don't even talk about the problems because people label, stigmatize. Then you tell yourself, this is not about my mother. This is not about my father. This is not about my boyfriend. This is not about my friends. It is about me. I am the one that goes through this thing every single day, and I know the struggles I on. I'm still going to go back. Yes, I'm out of the hospital, but on a monthly basis, I'm supposed to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist. And yes, I am going to drink medication, even if medication don't gain me some weight. But kinali relief. Whether my friend is there to take me to the doctor or not, because sometimes next driver, how to drive somebody else does something over triggered. Now it's about driving Mara, you just tell yourself, this is about me. It is not about somebody else. I am going to do this thing as if my life depends on it, because definitely your life depends on it, Mr. BP. So you move from stage, and those are the stages that it's on. Denial. After you deny, you acknowledge. After you acknowledge, you accept. I had reached a stage of acceptance. I am going through problems and accepted like David. On my own. Ntate Modimo has given me doctors. Ntate Modimo has given people matla. And I hold the power, Mr. BP, to heal or to die or to let the sickness consume me for the rest of my life. Mr. BP, I kid you not, every Monday I get the support group moment lane in the park. Hakitsanako kitlebekitzamaile ke le nose. Hakitsanako batho bana le bo mama bone, batho bana le bo mama ba ba batle ba mplela ke di CEO ba tlogetse mosebetsi ba etsang. And I would say to Ntate Modimo, I wanted to die. The last time I tried to kill myself, got head-on collision. My car kissed the tree, and I heard your voice saying, if you try this again, we will let it pass, and then you will be in a wheelchair. You will be in a wheelchair. So I wanted to die. Are you saying nah? Like this. Are you saying like this? People by the CEO because of bipolar. Because of bipolar. Now are you saying this is me? That the said no. You choose.
The power of choice.
You choose. You choose to pursue yourself. You choose to pursue your peace. You choose to pursue a better life. And guess what choosing means, Mr. BP? Choosing means now knowing your triggers. Remember how you deny, you acknowledge, you accept. Now you self-master. Self-mastery is knowing what triggers you. What triggers depression? What triggers hypomania? Different types of bipolar. But what triggers you? Then you realize music, it triggers me. I haven't forgiven my mother. I haven't forgiven my father. Because I haven't forgiven them. Banyanyisa.
And then you haven't even forgiven yourself.
I haven't even forgiven myself. Another thing, I wouldn't have been through this if it wasn't of them. Now I'm still blaming people. Then you realize,
Pinpointing.
I'm pinpointing and saying, because of them. And then you realize, no, it can't be because of these people. These people were vessels, and that's where you start to learn. These people were just vessels. Ntate Modimo takes care of the rest. And then Ntate Modimo says, forgive. Then you start going through the journey of forgiving yourself first.
And it's painful. It's not easy.
It's not easy. You start forgiving yourself for the things that you did to yourself. I mean, who bends themselves? Who cuts themselves? Did my mom send me to do those things?
No.
Did my father send me to do those things? I did those things to myself.
By choice.
So then you acknowledge that I was toxic. Myself as well, I was toxic to myself. Then you start forgiving yourself. As you forgive yourself, you start forgiving other people.
Yes.
As you start forgiving other people, then you ask your mom questions. Why this, why that? And your mom starts telling you stuff. And when your mother starts telling you stuff, then light bulbs come and say, this woman was going through the most.
She didn't have a choice.
She didn't have a choice. So I hated her for nothing.
And she could not do anything
about it. And you're like, Ntate Modimo knew, because he took me ampamme o leng gore o mphile lerato a mpha tlhokomelo o leng gore o mphile bomme. My mother was not going to be able to. Then you start to forgive, and then you start speaking to your father, and you realize, if my father was in my life wouldn't have been better off. My father, back then, nekasi be a great father back then. Nekasi be a great husband then. So, kita mo blame lang. Then you start to forgive. You start to forgive the people that try to rape you. You start to forgive, and before you know it, Mr. BP, you have peace that surpasses all understanding.
Wow.
Reigns inside of you because you decided to take a step, and a step says, I'm in denial, I'm accepting. And then, accepta. Ghana, what's the next step?
You acknowledge, after you acknowledge, then you can stand up.
When on your own.
Not with anyone else. When you stand up telling yourself, this is not me.
Exactly.
And there was this woman who decided one day, after all the pressure that's after the challenges, she even went as far as she was raped. And was raped by someone who was close to the family. But then I planned I'm going to forgive myself. You know what she did? I just pila sebiamo. Like you are saying, or not the card. I level discuss. I level my body and night. And
people don't believe that we do those things.
As long as in the situation. Sometimes that is why mutso or batho ba re le a iketsisa. That is why batho ba stigmatizer gore ba re I guess it's tseno. But then until you become in that situation, then you will start to understand. Until you go hospital sa go vet copies, you start to understand. Until you go warding, ya batho ba ileng gore ba depressed. Batho ba ileng gore ga sa tlhapa, motho ileng gore ga tsebe gore ke labo kae, motho ileng gore o lebetse gore o na le ngwana, motho ileng gore le wena motho ga o kena o go lebetse gore kana o mang. Until you go sepetlele o ye o ba bone batho ba, then you start to realize gore you're not allowed to stigmatize. This thing is a serious challenge. E leng gore ga e kgethe motho, unfortunately.
It doesn't, Mr. BP, whether o mohumi, o mohloki, o jwang or o jwang. Mr. BP,
it happens for over in that situation.
And most of these illnesses, let's say bipolar, for instance. Bipolar is getting a brain illness. Depression comes as part of it, but and it comes from a very young age, and because rona batho ba bang re tswa ko malapeng a batho ba bantsho ga ngwana a behave in a certain way, la mo betsa le re ngwana o tswile mo tseleng kante ngwana o needs psychological help at that point in time o tlhoka fela dipilisi gore le mo thuse gore a suppress this mania because bipolar, remember, ki depression. So there's bipolar type 1 and bipolar type 2. Bipolar type 1, go na le mania, leona depression. Leona bipolar type 2 is the same thing. But more bipolar type 1, you are always maniac. So maniac ke batho ba le ba leng gore they are always hyper. Ibile ba bang re ba bitsa gore motho wa irritate o bua too much but very very intelligent and ba khona go bona dilo tse di sa bonweng ke batho e be re ba tseno kante motho o itlhokela thuso ke ba le ba gore ha tsena ko classing Mr BP ne ke khona re ke spend a month ke sa ko classing
but hold
mara ha ke tla ke tlo kwala exam ke ra 100%. How do you explain that? It's a brain disorder. And for bipolar, it's characterized by mood swings. So one day mood wa gago o so, one day mood wa gago so, one day mood wa gago di tlhakane. How it's gore ya left or ya right and you are paralyzed, you don't know what to do. And then problem ke gore everything is hyper. How le kwa o kwa. And if you don't know, so tshwantse re bua ka go ikitse. That's why ke bua ka self mastery because now you know your triggers. How it's your triggers tse di rang gore di go ira gore o ye go dimo. You avoid situations like that. Some people ba na bojalwa. Some people ba tsa di drugs. What else you are not supposed to? I'm already high. Ka gore ke hyper. Ke na le hypermania. I'm already drunk. Already at birth.
But then now you're gonna add.
You adding. And then it becomes a mood destabilizer. And that is why some can kill. They don't remember what happened because the mood was destabilized by the substances that they are not supposed to be taking. And others, they drink medication. Una medication in jangwa bipolar or bona bujala or drugs because o tlhaka-tlhakanya bophelo ba gago gona mo.
Tlhaka-tlhaka system ya gago.
System ya gago right there and there. Then even na di depression. Mr BP a re bue ka taba ya post kana re bitsang ya basadi mosadi ha fetsa go tshola ngwana ha batle ngwana.
Yes.
Those things they happen because how can you be pregnant for 9 months and the next thing how fetsa gona pregnant how ba tlo tlhokomela ngwana.
Ga o mo batle at all.
Ke depression and it happened because go na le di hormonal changes. As soon as the hormones change, somewhere somehow you lose the motherly instinct. Somewhere somehow things happened psychologically, neurologically, in the mind. And then you just felt, this is not mine, I can't do this thing. I can't be a mother. And motherly instincts are not kicking in. Some they do kick in at the end, some they don't. And that is why it is not because babatla. It is that thing I can't.
Kgomotso, it's too tough. Let's go for a break.
I can't. If I think I can't, Mr. BP, and the only thing is my daughter deserves better than me. My daughter deserves better than me. Or others please take care of my child. Because motherly instincts is not. And it's not that they hate this kid.
No.
Something happened neurologically and psychologically during pregnancy because of hormonal changes.
We need someone who was there. Go na le batho ba ileng gore ga nna le wena motso a go tlhalosetsa gore today ga ke na ngwana but I gave birth to 3 children but ka jeno ga ke na ngwana and that thing ya bua like go bolela gore go na le nako mo ileng gore it will come back. It needs time. But then you need psychologists, but they will sit down with you. Yeah.
Because some of these things, Mr. BP, sometimes, the way I conceive it was in a good way. You were probably raped. Trigger, and that's why I was speaking about triggers. You need to know what your triggers are. How shaba trigger? Or your husband was cheating on you, or your boyfriend was cheating on you during pregnancy. Now, how who wronged you?
You know, you remind me of a friend o e leng gore she was a serial cheater. Na cheater ka tsela e leng gore, nako mosadi a tsaya decision I cannot be in this relationship anymore. I am getting out of this relationship. Ke a tswa, ke sharp, ke enough. Nako ela ba decide gore ba tlhalana re ke a tlhala. Ke o tlo realize gore o pregnant. Nako la re ke a tswa ka lenyalo o realize gore no, gape wena o 2 months pregnant. So ga a sa kgona go tswa. But then ngwana o ga tlobelego always o gopola gore ngwana o belego ke conceivile ka nako la go le bima. So always ngwana o mo reminder the pain. Always o mo gopotsa nako ya gore mosadi a re ke tswa mosebetsing ga a kena ko ntlong a kry-e mosadi o mongwe ko godimo ga mpeto wa bona. So ngwana o nnile 9 months but then a hloile selo se se leng ka mogare ngwana ola it's innocent ga a tsebe gore go etsagetseng. But then ka mo go bolelang le ge a belega ngwana na sa mo batle go sa batho ba gole be bona ba yang go sepetlele ba ile mo tsia a tlhalose gore ga ke mo batle ngwana o. So sometimes let's stop blaming batho ba bang re lebelle gore o boletse ka self triggered or what triggers
you.
Yeah. Self master, you need to have that self master.
And so how se tsona le o tseba di trigger tsa gago Mr. BP ke ntwe ke buang ka one. Now I'll give you a practical example. Now I knew gore my triggers were ko gae, and I always say ne ke sna mathata ka nele ko gae. Ne ke tseba gore if nka ya ko gae as soon as ke tsena ke a triggerega.
Yeah. Wa
tlalelana ke tlo ba jwang, and the next thing I am messed up for the rest of the month. Guess what I did, Mr. BP? I said to myself, until I am strong enough, I'm not going to go home. And I spent a year without going home, without seeing my mother. Ne ke re ga ke ba meong kgodisitseng o na le ntlo mo Soweto. Ne re ga tlile Soweto be ke lo mmonela ko Soweto because going home meant gore I needed to see batho ba go gae kaofela. And I didn't want that. It was a trigger. So wabana gore you end up saying I am putting in the boundaries and I am going to be very selfish. And I'm going to be very intentional. And I'm going to do anything that is anything. If you're dating brings you stress because brings you stress. You don't have love for yourself. You're still trying to learn you. How are you going to learn to love and to take care of the next person? You can't.
You can't
so
you take care of yourself.
You leave those things out. The only stress that I can be able to undertake. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ke kopa le fokotseng workload yaka. Ha ke setse ke le sharp then le ka nna la mpha responsibilities. Wa bona gore o simolla o bereka ngwa tsa ba re keng se se go triggerang o tseya di barking corrective procedures. And le go gae wa ba bolella gantle gore guys, you are my triggers. Ha o no tsamaya fela respectfully so until ke le sharp. Ha ke go tla go gae. And then you do that. Unfortunately, some people can't do that because on a husband. But you've got a choice to say, and then you stay go high up until all sharp. If go high is a safe space anyway, because Mr. BP, all we need is a safe space. All we need is a space where you thrive. All you need is a space where you are at peace. You feel loved. And it needs to start with you. Are you a safe space for yourself? Are you taking yourself seriously, your healing seriously, your peace? Because you are pursuing peace, which is an expensive commodity nowadays. Are you taking it serious? And are you doing anything that is anything, Mr. BP, to say, ga ke tle go ya anywhere go go tlong go ntriggerang. Ga ke tle go ya monateng because ha nka go monateng motho ka nna ntshwara so. Ebe ke simolla ke nna dikeledi ke putsa dikeledi be ke boela go. Nka nna re ke fitla kwa somebody a ba bua something else se leng gore sa go mfisa like this. Nka nna re then you start saying I'm no longer seeing people.
Protect yourself.
You're protecting your peace and protecting yourself. And then we build a boundary around yourself and saying up until you're strong, then get lo dula.
You know, you remind me of a lady who a rega spiel, you know, the mirror. He bought it, the very big and huge mirror. Every morning, I will lift the mirror. This is me. I will mirror, this is what I want to see out of this person. a tswaletse batho ba bang ko ntle, because now she wanted to build herself. She wanted to protect herself from other people. So until at the like you were saying, until the triggers how you protect yourself, you build yourself up, you make yourself strong before you can go and meet the world out there.
Steps, Mr. BP. So it's denial. You are in a denial stage.
Yes.
Once we acknowledge. I get half of acknowledge. You accept situation.
You accept.
So we acknowledge it.
Yes.
Like David to acknowledge it.
Yes.
Half of accept the matata.
Yes.
Half of what do? You pursue yourself.
You pursue yourself.
And pursuing yourself meaning you pursuing your healing.
Yes.
I get it. You pursuing healing and doing anything that you need to do. Go create healing. Half it's like it's only the self-mastery.
Yes.
And the self-mastery is like the forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for what baba horonileng.
And it's hard, Mutsu. It's difficult. Just by starting to acknowledge yourself. Because there are so many things that will always trigger. There are so many things that will remind you. Face reality. You know when they try to rape you. When this, when that. They will always come. Those voices, they will keep on coming and reminding you you are useless. Girlfriend. You are just used. Such things, they will come and remind you. Then you end up with isolated from people. You end up but like the lady said, I just spill every morning. In the mirror, this is what I want to see in you. You are better than what you are. You are better than the scarcity with kids in zone. You are better than the person but then loved you so much. He protected you. And go spetlele or go godimo ga wheelchair for nakonyana e rileng ya gore o ipatle wena o ipatlisisa gore do you want to see BP for the rest of his life na a ira gore o lebelle morago lebelle batho ba ileng gore ba itshepile wena Motso, there are people ba ile gore they are looking up to you. And then you are failing these people. You are destroying these people. Into disarray. Life it's useless. But if you can stand up, take your mats and walk. David was in this situation. But because there are people even your own family, like you were saying, you took a decision. I'll be away from home, building myself. Joseph they called Billy Bamu file le mabitso. Like go na le dilo tse le gore ba go stigmatize ka tsona. Ba go file le mabitso. Raditoro asu. So you see it's not the people they are outside. They are inside. Baba thoma destroy. And then only weak enough. Not only weak. Because it's like you to one thing over and over and over again. And motun state or we be under the carpet. And hoping or under the carpet, because we bail. You have invested this thing. In a long run, it might bring multiply. And it function. Everything now only one. So it is good, like you were saying, sometimes you need in denial. Dumela gore ke na le mathata. Dumela gore ke hloka thuso. Acknowledge, accept, perceive. Nakong engwe re bona le batho ba ileng gore ba bang ba bona today as we speak motso. Go tla le ngwana ba bona ile gore ba mo rejectile. A re bua ka tseno ko Marabastad. ga sa tlhapa kore everything for yena it's just darkness. But ge ba ile ba realize, like you said, gore ngwana o hyper because of ba mo nyakela medication ya gore e kgone go mmusetsa fatshe a gole le bana ba bang, a understand le bana ba bang. Today as we speak go na le batho ba ileng gore ge re bolela ba nna mo tlasa ma bridge, and it's only because of ba tlhokile motho o ka understanding the situation. But ge o godile motho o le motho mogolo, like you said, you one day made a choice, or I am going to listen to these people. Ke nna ya nang le problem. It's not batho ba se di doctors or di psychiatrists or di psychologists ba ba nang le problem. Ke nna ya nang le problem wa dumela wa re ke ba utlwela. There you are today, Motso, a young beautiful lady, very intelligent, but your scars reminds you where you coming from, and the very same scars they making you today to stand up and tell people out there gore ke godi e tswang le rotseng.
What is that? I really so ke sepedi ntone.
Ke sepedi.
I didn't understand.
Gore ke boela ntho e leng gore ke tswa ko yona.
Oh. I know we are telling our stories because we really I get it. The intention is to work at these things because we want to destigmatize it. That's the first and foremost. To destigmatize is that thing. It's okay. People today are okay to say ARV.
And Motso nagana gore how tough was it? Ge e thoma ebile o ne o sa no ka se bolele ka yona, because already batho ba ka tlhole ba go nyaka next to bona, but today
it's normal. People
it's normal. It's normal.
And guess what? People are no longer scared to even sleep with people that are HIV positive, because it's no longer stigmatized like it was. But people have issues with people that have mental health issues. To an extent, they are people have the medication, or people hide the medication because batshaba matlo about or what's in. So we speak about these things to say it's okay. You are not alone. Kgomotso, go and look up for her on Facebook. Kgomotso has been there, has done that. But Kgomotso decided to say, stuff the world, stuff what anybody says. This is my life, and I cannot get the way ke phelang ka teng simply because ke batla go pleasa batho ba bang. What about myself? I need to please myself.
Start with you.
And myself needs to heal. Myself needs to breathe. Myself needs for a tube boladi bo boleng ka gare ga my soul. And ga gona motho ka nthusang go bothuba, because nobody went through that with me. It is only I.
Remember the story of the man who was there for 38 years. People banna le ena, batho banna lo ena Motso. But people will be the very first people by the way they will stigmatize you. People will be the very same batho ba ile gore ba re gopola. But then, like I said, if motho one day a ka nka a step sa gore let me go ke go institution go vets copies, let me go there, just go and learn. Ke lebelle gore o itse re stigmatize batho in such a way that re palla go itsheba rona gore how did I survive. Ka o kana wa ya ditoronkong gona beno wa ya just to go there o gopele gore ke gopelo ya ke no etela mfeng an hour just to go etela ka mona ke nne le batho ba, like you were saying, motho go fitlhile mo ileng gore tlhaloganyo ga e sa le teng, o bolaile motho ge ba mmotsa re o bolaile motho wa makala. What are you talking about?
Because they blacked out. I was speaking about you black out. There's a point where
you black out completely.
I kid you not, Mr. BP. I don't know how many times I blacked, and that's what I'm saying. When my doctor and my friend took me go hospital, I blacked out on a Saturday. I woke up on Monday morning. I don't remember anything, and if I could have killed somebody right there and then, because when you are like that, you are called a danger to yourself and a danger to other people. Now, o blackile out, what if motho lo neng a ntshwara wrong ne ke mo tlhabile ka lebotlolo ke mo bolaile ke a bolelela gore ke tsoga ke go tronkong I blacked out because of the chemical functions tsa brain yaka they are not working properly because they are saturated Mr. BP o kile wa bona motlakase ga o tsentse motlakase go ga gago be go tsena metsi go nna go ntse go instead of gore ditlhase di kopane motlakase o tsamaye gantle ga o tsamaye gantle and that's the same thing that happens in your brain because the brain is a complex thing and if it's been poisoned the neurons ha di kgone tsamaisa information kana go ditso information e tsantse tsamaye ka teng you black out and that's why a lot of people black out and do things ga motho a botsiwa o krona metse motho gona ga ka lebella di series tse dingata wa lebella gona le this guy o neng a bolaya batho ka lebella mo Netflix ba re ke Dame I don't know if you've watched that series that boy o gotse kwa ga bone ba le very very strict papa ga gena phela mo shapa from a very young age a batla gore e be ngwana o le o right mo setšhabeng a mo shapa ba le strict the next thing ba divorce le mme wa gage na phela staying a ile go jola irang so ngwana lo had to a ikgodise and guess gore ngwana lo o ikgodise ka go irang ga go sena ope a boifa o lata di animal wa di bulaya wa di skin alive wa tlhaloganya then he grew a passion for killing and when he killed something he didn't feel alone it would be here it will not leave him because it's dead now it moved to killing people he started killing people ga fetsa go bola o go tlogela temfa wa go skina a ba latlhela matlalo a gago le diwatwa tsa gago ka mogare ga dromo mara body ya gago e dula mo gonamo ga o fetsa go bola o fila gore o tsamaile now he starts eating people cannibalizing people because he doesn't want people to leave them neglect is there a normal sane person who can do that no that child was tomile le ngwana o shapo intelligent go sekolong a lot of things started happening ba mo tlogetse go ga bone ale no sialo they started sexually molesting him ke banna wa bona that then he started finding coping mechanism coping mechanism is killing the local strateng a di tsa tlogo di ya and then what's about the gas mo tlogele ga no se fila ga no se bitse go bona something else now it moved to him killing people at 18 then in his adulthood he started cannibalizing them that is a problem because if kwahabone they would have realized early nkebe moshimane wa sa bala batho ba ngata ba bolaileng a ba ja ibile he was ai khona go ira sandwich kana maya motho Mr. BP and that is how complex a brain is Mr. BP that is how complex it is and if you are not going to take care of it and that is why David Timo Psalm 23 are the Lord restores my soul it can only be the Lord that restores your soul but he can only restore your soul if when I made a decision to say I need healing
I need help
and acknowledging acknowledging and accepting
and pursuing
and then pursuing yourself pursuing your healing and you can only do that highly when I'm going to do it whether on a support or Hana support because it is not a conference call.
Motso, like we said, you need Morana Jesu or Alevane Loen. Do you want to get well? Now, it's difficult, it's complex, it looks like it's not possible. But decision, like you took decision one day you took a decision, or this is what I want. This is out of her. You took a decision. Lord, I cannot live for this. Next time, wheelchair. So I play no ways, not me. Moto, in the last few minutes, I think the last 9 minutes, if I'm correct. What do you think can be done? Out there. You went through all these stages, but then here you are today. You are happy, Muzo. You are blessed. That the Mudimoko blesses, you've got your own car, you've got your own place that you called your home. You've got your wa sebetsa motso o kgona go ithekela pie ka nako wena o batlang, but then the stages that you went through motso it's not a se mang le mang nka be re boela so ile gore motso today le mmeno ha sana le one o tenetse go diphabong ba feditse ka yena ba shimane ba go destroy le ba go tlantlile ba go lahlile le mosebetsi ha o sana le ona le place that you called your ha o sana le yona, but then here you are. I'm saying this because now we are alive. People can see mots o re boelang ka ena.
So, Mr. BP, I think question about language, how did I do it?
Yes.
I did it exactly the way ki willing at day. For Mr. BP, but then after this thing only happened after who check you into a mental institute, and I was checked into a mental institute by a friend and my GP, my general practitioner. And when I was there, the first week, I was in denial and saying there is no way I Kgomotso myself. Into a mental institution. And then you are there and you are told you're going to be here for 6 to 8 weeks. And they tell you it depends on progress.
Yeah.
Meaning if there's not progress, chances are you will move you afar. And it means I'm out. It means it means altogether I am cuckoos. I'm not normal. Then you hear those things and you're like, okay, I'm here already. What do I do? Because I've tried to kill myself. Killing myself has not worked. I've tried to harm myself and doing all these things. They are not working. But I'm here and these people are saying to me, there is healing. And I'm also seeing other people here because I'm in a mental institution that look like me. Some of them, some of them, they are here like me. In the evening, in the morning, just like me. So it means I am not alone. And it means it means they are going through these things. Then Mr. BP immediately that a Damascus moment. I can turn around.
Yes.
That Damascus moment. Then I started to my psychologist. Don't talk to me. But I just decided, okay, Mr. Psychologist, I am ready. You are ready for what? I am ready to heal. Okay, how do you want us to do? No, I promise you I'm going to start speaking because I need to know what is wrong with me anyway myself. Then you start going to see a psychologist. You open
up.
You open up. You I don't want to talk about this thing. Mara, you have to talk about it because as brutal, as painful as it is, once you start to be like you feel relieved. You feel like a winner. You feel like udingan thabela round 1. Or something else to take around 2 or 3. Mara, the fact of the matter is you won round 1. Then you pursue that thing. Okay, I acknowledge it now. Bipolar.
Yes.
I don't know what this is because I've never heard about it. And then I have to accept where I am here. And then you start researching on your own. How depending on psychologist in your house? How depending on the because it's a one-man show.
Yes.
You are the driver, you are the starring. You are Sylvester Stallone in this movie. The other skiddy characters to come and elevate you. They are just vessels and nothing else. And then you start speaking. You start taking medication. You start speaking. You start taking medication. Then you research on your own to say, okay, bipolar. Can I see? Can I go to support groups? And that's what I'm saying. I started going to the support groups on Mondays. Wonder Park. I'd leave Wonder Park again, Menlo Park. On a Monday at 6 o'clock until 8. I'll be there, and when I'm there, they are going through the same thing that I'm going through.
Babang, it's even worse.
Babang, it's even worse. But the fact of the matter is I am there. It's like AA, where we're speaking about alcohol issues. And then I'm speaking about my addictions. But there is not addictions, it's your issues. You are there, 32, 42, 50. All of you will have to speak. All of you will have to give an account every Monday to say what has happened during the week. What have you learned about yourself? And then as you do those things, you start to realize how strong you are. Then because now you're starting
Yes.
the cloud, the black box and the and smell of fresh air. Smell of fresh air. Wow. And then when before you then you are as beautiful butterfly inside the thing. But it only starts with you saying,
Yes.
acknowledge, accept, accept that, then you like, I need to know now. And then you start pursuing peace. You start pursuing healing. And it can't be done by a psychologist or by a psychiatrist or by your friend. It is not a conference call. It's not even if non-alily twin, the twin will not be going through what you're going through. Because you've got different journeys and different destinies. But the fact of the matter is, whether they're supporting you or not, are you supporting yourself? Are you deciding Kgomotso needs to heal? And then you need to remember these stages of healing, healing. They are going to come back to light, and you'll be triggered, and you will cry and cry and cry. And then that moment you need to decide, am I going forward, am I going backwards? You forgive yourself, you forgive the people that have wronged you, forgive your perpetrators, and then you start living life. And then, like I said, you start building boundaries and saying, I can't do this because this and that gives me issues. I can't go to this place because this place steals my peace. I can't. Fella steals your peace. Mr. BP, I've got a golden rule. If it doesn't serve peace at the table, if peace is not part of the bouquet, I do not come to the table, because it means the table.
Amen.
Peace has to be there for me.
Yes.
And Mr. BP, people would say I'm talking about these things because I'm privileged. I'm privileged because yes, I need medical aid. But people don't know how you can go to the clinic. This is what I'm going through. But la dentist or GP. On a specific day, a psychologist will be coming. Go and see a psychologist. Once a week or once a month. Open up. Medication. No medication. Because medication listen, drugs if no ganja or whatever. Because they are mood destabilizers. They also make you feel you are offset. Now, medication is trying to stabilize you, but destabilizers they destabilize your moods. Concoction is if relationship is stealing your peace, relationship is stealing your peace. If your mom and her boyfriend they are stealing your peace, grandmother go there. And then SADC, South African Depression and Anxiety Group, Banali hotline. They are there. Just Google SADAG, SADC. Banali the stats Mr. BP. Banali the hotline it's Konali lifeline as well. And I think last week in our government is not doing much enough when it comes to mental health, because because right now mental health is a leading cause of suicide.
Yes.
Government did a lot of things because Bipolar, and the government only makes noise if they will WHP. WHP killed himself, and people were asking themselves, so WHP we play sharp. Ricky unaya ko studio. There was a video it surfaced before Bipolar. Unalo ko studio ngantsabu Ricky we play. In a video, you could see Ricky is holding back tears. Ntate Patrick Shy. People were saying that the Patrick Shy ona bua ntse a re o batla go challenge ba re ke mang Casper Veste for boxing. How could he kill himself? It is because it is a sudden, it is not sudden, it is a hidden illness. It can't be seen. And a lot of people put the masks. Ricky was putting up a mask, I was putting up a mask, WHP was putting up a mask, Ntate Patrick Shy, and all these people, Bo Mr. Bini, Bo Mama, all these people that kill themselves, they do that because they are running away from themselves. And it's not that they are running away from themselves, they are running away from the demons telling gore ke di voices tse di mo go bone tse di ba bolelang gore life will be a better place without them.
Motso, nako e re jele, and I think we still have a lot, and ke big ya bofela. I don't think gore it will be good for us gore re cut this subject. I think we need to have time and rebelele ka yona because it is not enough.
No, it's not, and I actually wish I wanted to invite this other lady. She's a sports psychologist. Actually, she's always going around Timia, South Africa. I wanted to invite somebody to come talk to us,
Please,
either a
let's do
psychologist or a psychiatrist, or somebody in the psychiatry or psychology. Do I call it industry? Yeah, industry.
Yes.
Or even
Please.
somebody who
Please.
has went through the journey, like I went through the journey. I raise their hands, but guys, we would like to come and speak because we need more of people that are telling a good story to say, I've been there. Mara, here I am right now.
Today.
I'm living a normal life. I am a winner. I am this, and I'm even on radio. And I am no longer panicking and feeling like when I'm pressured, because I always used to feel like, oh my God, I'm about to die here. And we need to tell people how we got here. And I can't be the only one that tells people how I got here.
Let's
there are
have
other
them.
people
Let's have
out there. So if Ilohoro, you are a person that's going through mental health issues, you've been diagnosed with any mental health issue, and you would like to come and shed some light, because what do we just want to do, Mr. BP, is to bring hope where it's needed the most. Is to tell people, Hore, you are not alone.
Yes.
I've been there, I've done that, and I'm living a normal life because I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if onala khatlego ya gore o ka batla go bua le rona, even next week you can even share.
Yes.
Re kopa o re sendele WhatsApp mo 063 210 7834. I repeat the hape 063-210-7834 or phone mo studio mo 064-8962-911. Mr. BP, this is a very sensitive and a very prevalent topic we need to talk about every single day, because I told you the youngest person that has ever committed suicide in South Africa was 6 years.
Yeah,
that boy hanged himself with a tie. And you ask me, how can a 6-year-old commit suicide? It's that thing we see, we hear, we've got opinions. And if we feel like we all about love, we all about being taken care of.
Motso,
and if those things are missing,
Mr. Cool, you are eating my time, you are chowing my time.
I don't think so, Mr. Cool. I'm wrapping up. So we need to talk about these things because batho ba really out there.
Yeah, it's true.
I hope our conversation here has been very informative, and like we said, we are imploring you if you are a psychologist, reach out to us, and most definitely we will schedule you to come